Listen to me closely, my dear friend. Pause whatever is rushing your mind for a moment. Take a slow breath. You are not here by coincidence. You are not reading these words by accident. When heaven wants to reach a heart, it creates a moment just like this. Quiet, unexpected, personal. And today that moment is yours. God is not looking at your perfection. He is looking at your endurance. There were nights when your heart felt heavier than your body. Nights when you spoke to God without words because the pain was too deep for language. Nights when you asked for strength but all you could feel was exhaustion. And yet you are still here, still breathing, still hoping, still searching. Do you understand what that means? It means something greater than your struggle has been holding you together. Let me tell you something gently but clearly. Heaven noticed your persistence. You may feel unseen by people, but you have never been unseen by God. Every quiet sacrifice you made, every time you chose patience instead of anger, every moment you kept faith when it would have been easier to walk away, it was all witnessed. Nothing about your struggle has been wasted. Nothing about your waiting has been meaningless. Sometimes God does his deepest work in silence. Just like a seed grows under the soil before anyone sees a tree, transformation happens in hidden places of the soul. While you thought nothing was changing, something inside you was being strengthened. While you believed you were stuck, you were being prepared. My friend, you were not abandoned. You were being shaped. There is a sacred truth many people misunderstand. Delay is not denial. When God seems quiet, he is not absent. When answers seem slow, they are not forgotten. Timing in the divine hands is never careless. It is precise, purposeful, and full of wisdom we cannot yet see. You have been walking through a season that tested your heart, your patience, your trust, and perhaps you wondered, why is this happening to me? But listen with an open spirit. Preparation often feels like pressure before it reveals its purpose. Gold is refined by fire, not comfort. And you have been refined. Your strength is not the strength of someone who never struggled. Your strength is the strength of someone who kept standing while carrying weight that others never saw. God is saying to you now, I saw you when you felt invisible. I strengthened you when you felt weak. I listened when you whispered prayers through tears. I remained when others left. You may think your faith was small, but even a trembling faith is powerful when it refuses to disappear. Do not measure your journey by what has not happened yet. Measure it by how far you have come. You survived days you once thought you could not endure. You kept moving when everything inside you wanted to stop. That is not weakness. That is courage in its purest form. And here is the message your heart has been waiting to hear. A shift is happening. Not always loud, not always sudden, but real, deep, certain. The season of carrying alone is ending. The season of receiving is approaching. What you learned in hardship is about to support you in blessing. What you developed in silence is about to sustain you in breakthrough. God does not waste endurance. He honors it. You are not being prepared for disappointment. You are being prepared for restoration. The doors that did not open protected you from paths that were not meant for your peace. The losses that confused you cleared space for what truly belongs in your life. Sometimes God removes what you asked him to fix, because he plans to replace it with something greater. I want you to understand this deeply. Your story is not defined by what hurt you. Your story is defined by what held you together while you were hurting. Even now, strength is being renewed inside you. Even now, burdens are loosening. Even now, grace is moving in ways you cannot yet see. You may ask, when will things change? And the gentle answer is, change has already begun within you. Peace is growing where anxiety once lived. Hope is rising where fear once ruled. Clarity is forming where confusion once stayed. Transformation always starts inside before it appears outside. Do not rush what God is unfolding. The same hands that carried you through pain are guiding you toward peace. The same presence that comforted you in silence is preparing you for joy. You did not endure all this just to remain where you are. God is not finished writing your story. The chapter you are in now is not the conclusion. There is still restoration ahead. There is still light ahead. There is still joy ahead that will make sense of the tears behind you. Hear this with an open heart. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not too late. You are not without purpose. Heaven responds to faithful hearts, not flawless lives. And today, grace is moving toward you. Not because you were perfect, but because you did not give up. Hold on to this truth quietly in your heart. What is meant for you is not lost. It is being prepared. What is promised to you is not canceled. It is being aligned. What is destined for your life is not delayed forever. It is approaching at the right moment. So stand gently, breathe deeply, trust calmly. Your endurance has spoken louder than your fear, and heaven has heard it. Something good is unfolding for you now. My dear friend, if your heart still carries questions, bring them gently into this moment. You do not need perfect understanding to receive divine movement. Faith is not the absence of questions. It is the courage to trust while questions remain unanswered. There are seasons when life feels like a long hallway with no visible doors. You walk, you wait, you hope, and still nothing seems to open. But what you cannot see is that sometimes God is not leading you to a door. He is leading you beyond the hallway entirely. What feels like delay is often divine redirection. You have been walking through a refining season, not a season meant to break you, but a season meant to reveal what was placed within you long before this moment. Strength was placed within you before struggle arrived. Courage was placed within you before fear knocked. Hope was planted within you before doubt ever whispered. You were equipped before you were tested. And now, as you stand in this moment, something sacred is unfolding quietly around you. Not everything that changes announces itself loudly. Some of the most powerful movements of grace happen gently, like sunrise, unnoticed at first, undeniable soon after. God is speaking to your spirit. What you carried for too long will not follow you into what I am preparing. What weighed on your heart will not define your future. What wounded your past will not control your destiny. Release the belief that struggle is your permanent identity. You are not a person defined by hardship. You are a person refined by it. There is a difference. You may remember moments when you felt completely alone. Moments when you looked around and found no human answer. No comforting voice, no visible solution. Yet something kept you breathing. Something kept you moving forward even when forward felt heavy. That sustaining presence was never far from you. Even when you could not feel comfort, you were being held by it. Sometimes divine support is quiet so that inner strength can grow louder. Do not misunderstand the silence you experienced. Silence was not rejection. Silence was sacred space. In that space, your character deepened, your resilience expanded, your spirit learned to stand without constant reassurance. And now, that inner foundation is ready to support something new. Blessings that arrive without preparation often collapse under pressure. But what is being prepared for you is supported by everything you have endured. You have not been walking in circles. You have been walking in formation. Consider how many times you thought you reached your limit, and yet you continued. Consider how many times you believed you could not endure another disappointment, and yet you are still here. That persistence is not ordinary. That persistence is evidence of purpose. God does not invest strength into a life without intention. There is a quiet restoration happening within you. The exhaustion that once felt permanent is loosening its grip. The fear that once dominated your thoughts is losing its voice. The heaviness that once followed you everywhere is beginning to lift. You may still feel moments of uncertainty, and that is natural. Transformation does not erase memory instantly, but slowly, steadily, peace is taking root where anxiety once ruled. Listen gently to this truth. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are standing in the middle of its unfolding. Many people believe breakthrough arrives as a sudden event. Sometimes it does, but often, breakthrough begins as an inner shift that changes how you see yourself, how you carry your story, how you walk forward. The external change follows the internal awakening, and within you, awakening has begun. You are learning that your value was never determined by approval. You are learning that your strength was never dependent on ease. You are learning that hope can exist even when certainty is absent. These realizations are not small. They are transformation. God is saying, I am not merely changing your circumstances. I am renewing your perspective. I'm not only opening doors around you. I am expanding capacity within you. I'm not simply answering prayers. I am shaping the one who prayed. You are becoming someone who can receive what once felt unreachable. There are things you prayed for in the past that you were not yet ready to hold. Not because you were unworthy, but because growth had to come first. And growth has come through patience, through endurance, through quiet faithfulness. Your waiting was not empty time. It was sacred preparation. My friend, do not be discouraged if everything is not clear yet. A path does not need to be fully visible for the next step to be real. Guidance often reveals itself one step at a time, not all at once. Trust the step you're on. You may feel like progress is slow, but slow movement is still movement. You may feel like change is subtle, but subtle transformation is still transformation. You may feel like hope is fragile, but fragile hope is still hope, and hope is powerful. Nothing that is truly meant for your life can be taken by delay. What is aligned with your purpose is preserved beyond your fear. Let your heart receive this gently. You are moving from surviving into becoming. You are moving from enduring into emerging. You are moving from questioning into understanding. And even now, unseen arrangements are forming. Opportunities are aligning. Strength is stabilizing. Peace is deepening. God is not asking you to force the future, only to trust the unfolding. Release the weight of trying to control every outcome. Release the burden of believing everything depends on your strength alone. You were never meant to carry life without support. Grace is not earned by perfection. It is received by openness. You do not need to prove your worthiness for what is coming. Your endurance has already spoken. Your persistence has already testified. Your faith, even when quiet, has already reached heaven. The same presence that sustained you in darkness is guiding you into light. Soon you will look back and recognize this season not as a time of loss, but as a time of becoming. Not as a period of abandonment, but as a period of preparation. Not as a story of struggle, but as a story of transformation. What once felt heavy will become meaningful. What once felt confusing will become clear. What once felt painful will become purposeful. Hold steady. Remain open. Stay gentle with your heart. You are closer than you realize to a moment of understanding that will bring deep peace.
The journey is not ending.
It is elevating, and what is ahead of you carries more restoration than what is behind you carried pain, beloved friend. If you have come this far in the message, let your heart rest for a moment in quiet assurance. You are not standing at the edge of uncertainty. You are standing at the threshold of unfolding purpose. You may not see every detail of what lies ahead, but you can trust the one who walks with you into it. There comes a time in every soul's journey when endurance transforms into expectation, not anxious waiting, but calm readiness, a deep inner knowing that what has been forming in silence is now approaching in reality. This is the season you are entering. For so long, you carried questions, you carried weariness, you carried hope that sometimes felt fragile, and still you continued. That quiet continuation has prepared you for this moment more than you realize. God is speaking gently to your spirit. The chapter of constant heaviness is closing. The chapter of renewal is opening. What you thought was the end of your strength was the beginning of my sustaining grace. You were never walking toward emptiness. You were walking toward transformation. Think of how far your heart has traveled. You are not who you were when this journey began. Your understanding is deeper. Your patience is stronger. Your compassion is wider. Your spirit has learned to stand even when circumstances felt unstable. Growth does not always feel like progress, but growth has been happening within you. You have learned to release what you cannot control. You have learned to breathe through uncertainty. You have learned that peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of trust. These lessons are not temporary comforts, they are lasting foundations. And foundations exist for what is built next. There is restoration that does not simply return what was lost. It brings something new that carries wisdom, strength, and clarity. What is coming into your life will not merely comfort you, it will confirm that your endurance had purpose. God says, I am not only healing what hurt you, I am strengthening what will sustain you. I'm not only answering your need, I am expanding your capacity to receive. You may still carry memories of struggle, and that is natural, but those memories no longer define your direction. They are part of your testimony, not your destination. Let go of the fear that nothing will change. Let go of the belief that your story is limited by past pain. The same grace that carried you through darkness is leading you into light that will remain. Take a gentle breath and allow this truth to settle within you. You are safe to hope again. Hope is not weakness. Hope is courage that chooses light even when shadows remain. Hope is trust that refuses to disappear. Hope is the quiet agreement between your heart and divine promise. You have not been forgotten. You have not been overlooked. You have not been left behind. God is near to the weary heart. God is present in the waiting moment. God is faithful beyond what human understanding can measure. And now, let your spirit receive this final reassurance. What is meant for you is moving toward you with intention. What is aligned with your purpose cannot be prevented by delay. What has been prepared for your life carries peace within it. You are not required to force the future. You are invited to trust the unfolding. Walk forward with gentleness. Speak to yourself with kindness. Release the habit of expecting disappointment. Your story is not a story of endless struggle. It is a story of enduring grace. Even now, unseen doors are opening. Strength is stabilizing. Peace is settling. Direction is forming. And before we close this moment together, receive this prayer with an open heart. May your spirit be filled with calm assurance. May every anxious thought be softened by peace. May strength rise within you when you feel weak. May clarity come where confusion once remained. May hope grow quietly and steadily in your heart. May the path ahead be guided with wisdom and protection. May every burden you carried too long be gently lifted. May restoration enter your life in ways that bring deep understanding. May you recognize your worth not through struggle but through grace. May you walk forward knowing you are held, supported, and guided. And may you remember this always. You were sustained for a reason. You were strengthened for a purpose. You endured, and now you are emerging. Go forward with peace in your heart. Go forward with quiet confidence. Go forward knowing that what is unfolding is not random. It is meaningful, intentional, and filled with grace. Your breakthrough is not only a future event, it is a present reality, beginning to reveal itself, and you are ready for it.